Welcome to Subramani. I'm going to talk about a topic which is not at all discussed much in India. This is about long-term care. Long-term care, the assumption is you are reasonably in good shape, but you have one medical problem because of which perhaps you are bedridden. Maybe you have a broken leg, broken arm, broken hip, something like that, or you have some illness because of which you are unable to walk. For whatever reasons you are unable to take care of yourself, so you need a bed, maybe a hospital motorized bed which can go up and go down. You need full-time care. You need a nurse, male nurse, female nurse, depending on your gender, and all this is called long-term care. Maybe you are being given long-term care at home. There are two things to this. Now, first is, what is the size of the old age home that you require when you live beyond your age of 80? I am assuming for a minute that husband and wife are both, maybe there's a 2-3 year gap. So when I say 80, husband is 80, wife is 78, right? Or little here and there. So what is the size of the house that you need? You need one bedroom, one hall and one kitchen, right? Now wait a minute. You need one bedroom. You need one bedroom for the husband. You need one bedroom for the wife. You also may have a full-time live-in maid, male or female nurse, right? For one of the, I'm assuming one person, the husband or the wife is not well. You may have a cook coming in and cooking. And you may have some other maid coming and doing the swabbing and mopping and the cleaning of the house, right? So all this is what you will need. So you will need, definitely you will need one person who is living there. So that extra room that person is going to need. Maybe that person will sleep in the hall, so that's fine. So you still need 2 bedrooms. There is no denying that. And those bedrooms have to be big enough to take in a hospital motorized bed. So please remember, when you are buying or building your own old age home for yourself beyond your age of 80, you will need to take care of all that. So you need a nice big bedroom, really big, because there has to be a place for one person extra to sleep apart from you. Maybe on the ground, maybe it's a big bed, and one bed which is a spare bed where the nurse can sleep, male nurse, female nurse, depending on that. Loo which is big enough for your wheelchair to be taken in case you have to be given a bath. So the door has to be big enough. The door has to open outside, not inside, so that if somebody is bolted in, you can just break the door open. You cannot break the door in because you do not know where somebody is lying, right? So these are things which you need. Having said this, what about the money? Unfortunately, in India, there is nothing called long-term care insurance, and even in the US, out of the people above 60, only about 10% of them have long-term care insurance, because long-term care insurance is a very, very difficult to claim insurance. So many people have heard horror stories, so they believe they don't need long-term care insurance. But anyway, that is for US. India, there is no long-term care insurance. So even if you tell me, oh, I'm petrified by the thought that I would have requirement and I don't have children who will look after me, blah, 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 what should I do? I don't have a solution. There is no long-term care insurance available in India. And going historically by what is happening in the US, very, very, very raised to 100 times unlikely that it will come in India. Unless, of course, somebody comes with some usurious rates which will not pay and you will get cheated. That's a different thing. But I don't see a good insurance company coming up with long-term care insurance in India because we just don't have enough data. Now, going with American data, normal healthy person could require 5 years of long-term care, and here I am being a little economical with the truth, because the average says 2.2 for men and 3.7 years for women. However, there is a fear that people who are very fit may require it longer, so maybe 4-5 years. Now, how much would it cost per month? So let me take my immediate, I have a neighbor and I know how much they are incurring, and I would not go too much into the breakup of the cost, but maybe 70% or 50% is that's the male nurse. A male nurse, this is for a 80-year-old man, the male nurse is costing them approximately 3,500 per day. Right, let me repeat, 3,500 per day, that itself is about 1 lakh. Then there is a motorized bed. Then the motorized bed is available on hire, but it's not cheap, it's expensive. Then you buy things like water bed and all those consumables, etc. So I'm just taking a figure of 1.5 lakhs apart from medical expenses. I'm assuming for a minute that the medical expenses are covered by insurance, long-term care is not covered by insurance. That is 1.5 lakhs per month, and 1.5 lakhs per month translates to 18 lakhs. 18 lakhs for 5 years is about 90 lakhs. So how would you plan to attack this? If you remember, I made many videos on the bucket theory, bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket 3, where bucket 3 is all your equity, which is the highest variability, right? Bucket 1 is next 2-3 years expenses, maybe 5 years expenses. Bucket 2 has got another 5-6 years expenses, and all the remaining money goes to bucket number 3. Now this is all in your head. Why do we need to do this? Simply because in our head we need to keep money in different compartments, because when we take money from one particular compartment to pay for something, we feel more comfortable. It's purely psychological. It is financial behavior at play. For example, what I do is, let's say I pay 50,000 per annum for my medical insurance. I also put 50,000 each into funds. One I do as a lump sum, one I do as a lump sum on timing. I think, oh, healthcare is now going to do well, so I go and put a lump sum. And the other one is an SIP of 4,000 rupees per month. So 50,000, 50,000, 50,000, 3 packets I am creating. One is my insurance bucket, where last 20 years I have not made any claim. Hopefully all that goodwill will travel with me when the claim is being made. That covers me for an X amount, and I believe that some portion which will not be covered will be met by these two pharma funds. Can I take money from a general fund? Yes, of course I can. But here I'm, like I said, creating mental pockets, saying, oh, money came from the pharma fund, so that's what I had planned for, so that's what happened. So something like that. So you create a fund which is, let's say, bucket number 4. In bucket number 4, you create, like I said, 1.5 lakhs per month, assuming for 5 years, that is 90 lakhs. So you create a 4th bucket of 90 lakhs and keep watching it grow. As long as that is growing at the same rate of inflation, or same rate of inflation required for long-term care, that should be fine. So on the assumption that something happens to you and you need 5 years long-term care, that bucket number 4 is what should be touched. Can you take it from bucket number 1, 2, 3? Of course you can, and you will, you might. I mean, your wife or your children may not know, if you have not left very detailed instructions from where to remove money for what. Very unlikely that we will leave such detailed instruction. But creating this bucket and telling your family, look, this bucket number 4 is for medical emergency for husband and wife. So we need, say, 90 lakhs each, so 1.8 crores. Now, even if you create, say, 50 lakhs or 70 lakhs, that's fine, because that will also keep growing, and you are just, say, 55 when you created this bucket. You know, by the time you reach 90 when you need it, this would have grown very well, hopefully at a rate better than inflation. And between husband and wife, one may not need it also, so that will always be a surplus. So this is just one way of creating that surplus. So 2 things to care about and worry. Your senior citizen house, how should it be built? What should be the size? Should there be a spare bedroom? These are all calls that you have to take. And this bucket number 4 for keeping all your money where you can access in case of long-term care requirement. Remember, there is no long-term care insurance in India, and even in the US, those who really can afford it don't take it, and those who really need it can't afford it. So it's a very dicey situation for this long-term care thing. The only thing you can do is be financially prepared. Being physically prepared is impossible. The best of people, finest of people, fittest of people just need long-term care. Some people who are not fit just die without needing any long-term care. So it's impossible to say how you can be prepared for it anything other than financially. Financially, this is the best way to be prepared for it. Thank you.